I just found out that I cannot zoom in until the video. So there we go. Oh, let me mute that also. Mute myself. Okay, and I can't do any adjustments until after the video starts, unfortunately, or the live starts. So I need to try and make it work afterwards, but we'll get there eventually. Okay. I have to wait for the video to catch up so I can see what it looks like on the screen. It seems like it looks decent. I'm way up at the top here. I only just started this project not very long ago. And I was trying an idea, but I kind of wasn't sure I liked it so much. So, oh, the lamp is in the way again. Let's move it up a little more. And zoom in like that, maybe. Oh, we'll see how that goes. I have to be able to see. That's the issue with the flexible boom arm. It is flexible, but it's also adjustable. So it's kind of nice in that way, but then it also has to be adjusted every time. So my plate of cookies knocked my lamp over a little bit. So I'm adjusting that for the lighting. I think it looks okay, hopefully. Anyway, so today I'm working on Everheart Mosaic. It's a Stitches So Beautiful pattern. And I do have a mock-up, I hope. I mean, I do have a mock-up. I'm just hoping it's on this phone because, yeah, this phone is really old. Yep, it's there. So let me move the lamp down. And this is what it looks like. It is the small size. I think that's all in there. Wait for the video to catch up. Okay, yeah, it's there. Oh, wow. That looks really good on the screen. I love this pattern. It's just so pretty. So it's called Everheart Mosaic, and the artist is World of Love, I think. Adrian Gare. I think that's what it's called. But anyway, hello, Renee, and hello, Clara. I meant to say hello to you also. I typed it in instead. Okay, so now we need some needles, Alexa, and my ballpoint needle. I'm actually not sure you can see those. I have my favorite. Okay, it does show. This is my favorite needle minder. It is super strong. I just love it. And yeah, you know. And then of course I have the Audacity. This is to remind Fred constantly of his audacity. No, I'm joking. But yeah, Christina got that for me. And hopefully she'll come today. I think she's off work today. So, okay. And hello, Busy Mom. And you have that pattern too, but haven't started it. Yeah, I wasn't gonna get it, and then I did. This is the small version, which works pretty well. I don't think that it's going to be you know, it is what it is. I'm not going to I just really don't have the spoons for something bigger. And let me see if I can move the magnifier up a little bit without blinding everybody. So this morning I finished my rotation on sailing under the solar eclipse. That was so much fun. I'm just so happy to have figured out that ending and starting technique. So what I'm going to do is I think it was a 5x3 block window. I haven't worked on it in a while. And I was doing min to max. I think I was doing min to max. It's been a while. This is the last of the rotation, so you know how long that was. I think I'm looking at it right now. No, I think I was doing typewriter. But that seems off. Oh, well, I have, let's see, when the last time I worked on it. Oh, I've only done 500 stitches on it. So it's only one time I worked on it. And that was March 11th. That was the last time it got called. Renee says, I love those country colors, blues, greens, roses, just so much great shading, like a garden of color. I 100% agree. I think it's so pretty. Oh, and I'm going to start I'm not doing a sprint. I'm doing a countdown, a goal, because I always do 500 stitches. And since I'm just starting, I will set that like that. And it'll still tell me where I'm at when we finish. It's the same thing. So I think what I'm doing with this is that I think that I'll do the same idea is maybe, I think this is, let me look at this real quick. Wrong button. I am really not together. Okay, so this pattern is 200 by 185. So I think what I'll do is I will do them by 5x5 squares. And whatever's the end is at the end. So I have marked here, whoops. So here's 50, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So I'll work, this is my page, if you think about it, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So here, oops, 50. So this will be my, eventually, page break. So, but I believe that my idea will be just staying within 2. So if it's not here, I'll work here. And if it's not here, I'll park down here. If there's nothing here, I'll park over here. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see what happens as I go. So I am... Oh, I was wondering why I had the... Never mind. I'm like, wait. Why is that like that? Okay. Let me double check. Yeah, I did do min to max. Okay, but I'm going to do by color because there's not that many stitches left, and that way I don't have to move my cart back and forth. Move my cord out of the way. And I will start with 597. And I'm wearing my different glasses, so I'm going to try these out. They're my new ones, but I really haven't worn them very much. And it seems like they're working because I can see my screen, the laptop screen, and I can see my work through the magnifier. So that's good. I'm not using my reading glasses. The reading glasses have no anti-glare coating, and I really noticed that actually. So this is a little kinder on my eyes. So what is everybody working on today? And I wanted to talk about tomorrow. Tomorrow's Saturday, and I know Yogi is doing 2 streams. So I think that, and I would like to, I need to film my floss tube. So I think I will skip tomorrow and either come back on Sunday or whatever. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, so, oh, that's nice. There's some stitches down below this square too. I haven't really spoken all day, so I'm feeling it already. I haven't spoken out. Oh, yes, I did. I talked to the guy who delivered my groceries. I forget that. So, and I'm just double checking, making sure I'm in the right square. You never know with me. So I'm still gonna do my start and stop like I did with the heart hanger. I really like that. It's really secure. It's a little bit more tricky with the Ada because you have to find the center. If you don't get the center exactly right, it slips. Like this one I didn't, the bottom I didn't quite get it, but it won't show. But it just makes it so much cleaner. And then there's one here. I think that this pattern is less confetti than the solar eclipse pattern. It feels like it. The 500, when I did the 500 stitches, it went really, really well, really fast. Oh, and this is 20 count Ada, and I'm doing 1/1. Oh, it's got all my favorite colors. Love it. I really wanted to work on decisions more today. It was like, okay, so I need to put my office chair together and I need to finish the rotation on solar eclipse and then I need to do this. That's why I planned on 2. This is the time optimist problem. I was like, okay, we'll do the live stream at 2 today. I could do it. And then, and it looks like I didn't cross, I didn't cross some stitches here. So I'm gonna, after I do these, I'm gonna figure out what I did. I have talked about it before on Yogi's stream that I do have chronic fatigue and chronic pain. So sometimes things are, you know, like you get the brain fog and sometimes things are not going exactly how you expect them. And so my mornings are usually super groggy and, you know, preparing for the day, but it's usually around this time of the day that I start feeling ready to do something, which is not really productive in the way of, you know, living a life, you know, but it is what it is. I live with it. I've got a, hold on a second. I had a skin piece that was catching on my work. And every time I pulled the thread, it would catch the thread on from my finger. So I think that I can stitch this thread out, it looks like. Except for those crosses. And then I think I'll fix those crosses that I didn't cross. No idea what I did there. Sometimes. Oh yeah, this is so much, it's like the lights aren't blinding me. Okay, that's good. So these new glasses are good for something. Let's do those. And then let me double check. Yeah, there's only 4 more stitches right around here. And that is here. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Here's one of my little pin stitch pimples, but I'm not stitching over that right now. How does it sound? Hopefully it sounds okay. And one here. And then oops, I want to end that, so let's do it there. I think with the Aida fabric, it seems like it is a 3 by 3 block. So there are 3 warp threads and 3 weft threads. And so finding the middle is a little tough because there's no proper middle. So, but it sits very nicely, I think. I haven't really looked at it, but I suspect, I can't really tell, that there are, so in the Aida weave, so the warp, there are 3 warp threads that are grouped together, and they do a tabby sort of thing. And then there are 3 grouped together in the weft. And then there's others, you know, they intersect and they leave a hole. So yeah, it's, you know, a little weaving tip there. Okay, so hello, my spouse, and this is for you. Okay, this is for you, Fred. Ha 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 ha. Okay, and. Fred says, I'm convinced we're the same person sometime. This could be possible. And Renee says, I have similar issues. Fibromyalgia, Raynaud's, and Sjögren's slows me down a lot. Mandy says, hello, everyone. I have chronic fatigue and fibromyalgia. It's awful. I love 20 count. It's easy to stitch on. And Michelle says, hello, everyone. And Fred says, I know about it. Yes, I do. And Clara says, it sounds great. And hello, Laura. And Renee says, I bought a bunch of 20 count and I have at least 2 pieces. I plan to start on it. I'm anxious to try the 20 count since I've never stitched on it before. It is lovely. I think it's one of my favorites. And Renee says hello to Michelle, and Michelle waves back. Laura and Renee waves to Laura. And Fred is laughing his butt off, and he says he loves that one. And Clara says, I do not enjoy 2/1 on 20 count, but I've not tried 1/1. I like how your 1/1 with arrow floss looks on you. Yes, and you know what? I love it. I would never do 2/1 on 20 count. I don't even like 2/1 on 18 count. It's like so hard. So yesterday I was working on 16 count, and that was perfect. 2/1. I did feel like I had a little bit of tug. My needle was sometimes catching, but I've been working with my long dog picadillo on 20 count. 18 count, and it's great. It works great, and I do 1/1. And yes, definitely, I would never do 2/1 on 18 count ever again. I'm doing it with DMC floss, which is really thin on 18 count, and I just dislike it immensely. So, so first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mark these off before I forget, because I almost did, and I'm gonna check these half stitches that I don't know what I did. And those are here. Huh. Oh, you know what? I think I know why no, I don't know why I did that, but there is a bunch right underneath that. So I will fix that and park it. So 563. Sometimes when I work on 2/1, I will often do, if I'm doing a lot of block stitching, I will leave a half cross if I'm going back. And I don't know, there's no real reason for that. Just brain fart or something. I'm looking, okay, 563. So I'll fix those while I am here doing it. And then I can move on. I can't. Okay. So I'm gonna, oh, looks like it's pretty nice outside. It is 4 o'clock here, and pretty soon the sun will come around the building and be super sharp, shiny in here. So we'll see how it goes. If I need to get up and shut the shades, we'll see when that comes. It's kind of nice having the daylight. So we'll see how it looks in a bit if I need to. But it's still a bit on the overcast, so it might not be super strong sun. But it seems like it's nice outside. You know, if you do actually go outside. Okay, so let me read a little bit more. Okay, so Clara says, same here. However, I'm okay with doing Maggie on 18 count from the kit. And Michelle says, I have a dumb saga question. I've imported a new file. I can't remember actually how to start marking the pattern. All I can do is erase. This happens every time I start the new pattern. Okay, that is an easy one to do. So with you, do you see the light bulb on your screen? Actually, one second. I can show you using my old phone. I have Saga on there because this is something that just came up when I was looking at this pattern, because I had turned that on to see what I was doing. I don't know why I did it, but yeah, whatever. So let me turn on Saga. Let's see. Okay, so I only have 2 patterns on there. I must have dumped them out. I'm not sure you can see that. Okay, so I've never opened this one. This is the one that comes with the Saga. So when you open it up, see how all the colors are all already on? This is what happens when you first open up the pattern. Okay, so if you see this light bulb right here, just wait. Let me get a pointer real quick. Oh, that's not there. I have to stretch my head up to see if you guys can see this or not. So you see this light bulb? So on the light bulb, you press it and it will say change colorized pattern model to a symbol patternized model. So I usually turn that off and don't show it again. So now if you look at your eraser, it's now a markup. So when you turn on that, it does it opposite. So you're going to erase the colors. So I hope that makes sense. You know, I can maybe later I'll do a tiny little tutorial so I can show you that, because that's something that it's a little bit intuitive, but not. You kind of have to know what you want with it. And I think that I saw this on somebody else's tutorial how to do it, and I don't know that. Yeah. So if you see it this way, you have the eraser. If you turn on the light bulb, then you have your markup. I hope that helps. Okay. Oh, okay. So Now I'll go back and read just a tiny bit. Let's see. Okay, I read that. And Laura says, I tried 2/1 on 18 count for my kitschy kitchen and it looked amazing, but too difficult to work with. I frogged it. Yep, 100%. I want to do the kitschy kitchen. I have the Supersize Max color. I really want to do it, but I think that I need to decide on fabric. So then Clara says, when I first started stitching full coverage, I started using 18 count 2/1 and wasn't enjoying how it looked. I finally gave up on it. After I placed it in timeout for lots of months, I restarted it. And Fred, yes, we know you don't go outside unless you absolutely have to, because outside is evil. And again, Florida. That's all I have to say. And Michelle says, thank you. I knew it was so simple, but I couldn't remember how to do it. And hi, Dragon Lady. Hello, Suzanne. Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon. So also, do y'all have your coffee, tea, soda? I know Fred probably has a soda. I have a coffee. I actually put it in a little thermos because I was so worried I was going to knock it over. And then I probably will knock it over anyway. Okay, and I also have 2 chocolate chip cookies, but I'm saving those for later because I can't eat cookies and drink coffee at the same time. Okay, so now I'm gonna fix these. I'm gonna fix these stitches. Let's see if I can get the magnifier back. Oh, I want a Dolly cup. Those are so cute. Actually, I really like the frog one too. And I was thinking about getting the yoga bag, but I've been hearing some stories from the people in like the Netherlands having problems with the... Okay, so I guess I need to I'll do like a little loop start here because I messed these up and they're going, and I'm not gonna frog them out. So I'll do a little loop start and pull that under. Let's see if I get that. And so then these ones, I don't know what I did, but you know. So I'm just gonna park this down here for now. Let's see. And out of the way. I used to park like this when I did Royal Rose. There were so many parked threads. It keeps them out of the way, except for now I just snagged my, okay. So there, that's that. And it stays out of the way. Okay. And Clara says, I'm the same way, Fred. And Dragon Lady, yo, go and stitch howls. I love that pattern. I can't wait. And Renee says, I love mine. I have way too many mugs, though. I need to purge that cupboard and keep some of my favorites. Yeah, that's, you know, I use maybe 3 mugs and the rest of them are just up there in the cupboard, but I love them all. I just don't use these other ones. Okay, so I will mark that as parked. Yeah. Okay, good. So back to the box. And let's see, where am I at? So I'm doing, that's weird. I thought it was min to max. I better double check that. No, I changed it. Okay, why did that do that? Okay. Ugh. Silly pattern. Okay. Oh, I don't remember what I was doing. We'll just blame Fred. That works for me. Okay, so 3766. I'm doing min to max because the last color, there's a lot of them. So I will do min to max on this. So 3766. Oh, sorry, I cut myself this morning. That's great. This is 20 count Ada, 𝐈𝐴DA. It is, I'm stitching it 1/1 full cross, and this is Arrow floss. It's similar to CXC. But it has all of the colors. So it has the first 35 colors. It's got variegated, and try to be lazy and pull up 2 threads at a time because I want to cut some, and that didn't work. Yeah. Oh, you're probably gonna hear this every day. I'm totally not with it. I'm trying. Okay, there we go. Maybe it got caught. Oh, there we go. Okay, fixed it. Let's see if I can fix that again. What the heck is that? Okay. Yeah, I love this floss. Actually, I put the box right down on the floor by me to weight the boom arm, but it'll be too hard to grab up from that side. Or I'd show you the box. I keep the box to save the extras. But I can show you a skein since there is a whole bag of them, or a whole box of them down here. I keep all. So I have that didn't work. Why the heck did that not work? So I have a couple of different like filing systems. I have a filing cabinet with at least one skein of floss, and any of the extras I have, I keep in the original box. So here is one of, so this is what, let's see if I can find the camera. Oops, down. So that is what it's called. It's AIRO. Let's see there. And it's 8 meters. It looks like DMC. The colors are all similar. So this is 3822. I love this color. It's so pretty. Ow. Grab some out. Okay. Yes, it is matte, but I think it's quite shiny. So I've never used CXC because I just decided to try this, and I knew that CXC didn't have all the colors, and so the box that I bought had, actually the box is right here. I can look and see what it says. Let me see. Okay, well, I'm grabbing the box. It says that there are 500 skeins of floss in the box. Yeah, it's a poly cotton. It's just like CXC. Sorry, I hit the lamp, or the boom arm. And I bought mine originally from Temu. I bought the box. But you can buy a whole set from Dream Stitch for less. And then you also can buy them individually from Dream Stitch. So I put in an order. He has a spreadsheet, and I just fill it out how many I want, and he sends them to me. It's really handy. Okay, so this one is all over the place. So let's go. I'm like, but like I said, I've never used Arrow. I mean, I've never used CXC, and the fact that there are none of the first numbers kind of makes me not interested in trying it. And then I've noticed that a lot of people, they fall for this is CXC when it's probably some other less, not as good quality polycotton. And that's when you hear the one label or the two label. But CXC has a specific label, just like Arrow has a specific label. So if you're getting a one label that doesn't say the CXC, then you're not getting CXC. So I think there's some, and a lot of people, they buy them off Etsy. And so what they're doing is the people from Etsy are buying them, buying them from China and selling them, and you get to pay the extra. So I'm kind of, I don't really believe that's a good thing. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, but I want to buy from America or whatever. Oh, I want to buy it local, but it's not local. It's not manufactured anywhere local. So why would you pay extra for something that, you're not, why would you pay somebody else to import it for you when you could just buy it yourself? I learned I learned this a long time ago when I started buying stuff off eBay from China. These let me show you these little, oh, it's on the other side of the cart. These little clover clips. Let me find the camera. So there was a shop. These aren't clover, obviously. There was a shop that was selling 10 of these that were not clover for quite a lot of money. And then I bought 100 of them for less than I bought 10. So, you kind of need to shop around. Okay, so Renee is saying, okay, so Laura says, I saw a 500 floss box of Arrow for $50. You know what? That is really good. That is a good price. I think I paid, well, when I bought mine, it was about that. But the price has gone up a lot. I think it's more like 70 now. So yeah, if it's the Arrow box that I have, definitely that is that's a good way of getting a full set. Hold on, let me mark these real quick before I forget. And here, so this, okay, I see what I'm doing. There's a little bit up. I kind of wandered down, but there's some up here. So I'll go back up here. I'm trying to live a little bit more on the wild side, like Christina encourages me to do. So I'm just moving all over. Okay, so then here, this is good. I'm just gonna park this because I'm not working on. No, maybe. No, I'll stitch this. There's a little block right here, but I'm gonna mark some stitches real quick. Renee said, CXC, it got really tangled easily. I got 2 label ones, but it's hard to untangle. And Michelle asked if I've stitched with painted fairy floss. Absolutely, and I love it. I will say that it's nicer than DMC. And Clara says, I use 1 label, and it's definitely not CXC. That actually comes with 2 labels. Yep, exactly. So when you look at this, let me grab a skein again. So when you look at the skein, let me see if I can get it in the thing. So what I do is I often, this skein is kind of messed up. So I will often, I'll pull a little bit first So this one's the wrong one to pull. I can see that it's over. But I actually will pull the whole thing out. Yeah, this one's this one's not going to pull out right. But you know, it's okay if it doesn't pull out right. I just go through and I untangle it, because what I do is wasn't in the camera, sorry. I pull the whole thing out, and I find this tangles a lot less than DMC. DMC knots up. This almost never knots up for me. So, and then I take one end and I just pull out the whole thing and put it in a pile, grab the other end, and then fold it up until I have 8 strands. And then I cut them, they're 1 meter length, and I put them on my floss drops. But I really like the, I really like Arrow Floss. So when I first got it, I bought it on a whim. I had bought some, what I thought was CXC on Amazon. It was definitely not. The colors were close, but not that close to DMC, so I wouldn't have been able to use them. They were a little bit fluffier than the Arrow, and so I was a little disappointed, but I paid maybe $20 for, it wasn't even a whole set. There was a lot of colors missing. But you know, it was worth checking out. If I run out of a color, I will grab one out of that box. You know, they're close enough. You know, if I need just, you know, 1 or 2 stitches of one color, then, you know, I don't have a problem with using it. So I ordered the Arrow and thought, you know, like the other floss, if it doesn't work out, you know, I'll still use it. I'll use it for something. I'll weave with it or whatever. And I took it out, and first I was like, oh, it's not like DMC. And I was a little disappointed. But the colors were beautiful. It looked nice, but it was definitely not, because it says that it's 100% cotton, which is absolutely not 100% cotton. It is a poly cotton, so it's like an 80-20. And so at first I was like, oh, you know, but I thought, well, you know, I'll test it out. So I grabbed some fabric and started doing some stitches, and I realized that I love it, because what it reminded me of was a really fine wool. It had that same like life to it, and I was really happy with it. So, but then I started working with Painted Fairy, and I started feeling like, oh, I'm missing out, you know. So yeah, so oh, that is such a pretty color. I love that color. So, you know, I use them, I still use it. So I am going to, there's like one stitch, there's a bunch of stitches over here, but I only have a little bit. So I'm just going to use my little ending technique here. And then there's another one of these, there's just like one stitch over here that I'll use the rest of this thread with. So I hope that helps, you know, make it understandable. But absolutely, I love buying from Dream Stitch. You know, the guy that owns it, runs it, or whatever, he's just really nice, good customer service. It's nice. Okay, so there's a tiny bit left. Let's see if I can actually do this here. And my magnifier, let me move this over a little bit. That's the problem with not being able to see very well. Oh, also, when I was doing the Hardanger tutorial on starting and ending, I actually found that, well, not when starting. Oh, that's right. This is not starting and ending. All right. Well, I'll leave that because there's more of those down there. So never mind. Never mind. I was going to just do that one stitch, but I haven't figured out how to do a starting and ending there for that. So let's not hit the bucket. Okay. I'm going to take a little drink, and then we have 3740. Oh, this cup doesn't keep the coffee very warm, but it tastes good anyway. Oh. So anyway, yeah. And then I have my, let me see if I can show you this actually. Oh, that was really wet there. So then I haven't done all of them, but let me see if this will show. It's a hot mess. But these are it's my combination B and Royal Embroidery. Let's see. I got caught. Royal Embroidery and Fairy Floss. And I have it like, it's sort of like Yogi's. It's in a bag. But like the Royal Embroidery, definitely you can see the difference. It's not as close to DMC as Painted Fairy and DMC. It's a little bit, it's an Egyptian cotton as well as the other ones are Egyptian cotton, but it's like stiffer. It's not, it's different. They're all nice, but it's different. You know what I mean? And in the way of a spinner, it is twisted more, in my opinion, than DMC or Painted Fairy. So it's hard to explain really careful, unless you spin, it's a little bit hard to explain, but it like has a different feel to it, not in a bad way. I wouldn't say it's, it's unpleasant, but it's different. And definitely it's a little bit more matte than Painted Fairy and DMC. But it's not unpleasant, if you know what I mean. So I decided to just, they don't really match, but I decided that I would just put them all using them as a master set. So eventually I'll put all the rest, I'll buy the rest of what I need for Painted Fairy for that set. And I have another cart that I have for that setup. It's my old cart that I had my Aero Floss on. And when I bought my new cart, I decided to put the other ones on the old cart. And it'll be the same idea. I'll just have two carts, which is silly, but it works. There's only one side on it right now. Okay, so this was 3740, and I only had 2 stitches there. Oops. Oh no, did that wrong. Okay. So yeah. Okay, why is that not? Okay, there it goes. So now, there's only 2 colors left on this little block. That's cool. And it's starting to get warm in here. Oh yeah, the sun's come around. Okay, so 38 49. Oh, another beautiful color. Clara says, I totally agree with you about royal embroidery. I used to spin, and yes, it's over twisted compared to DMC and Painted Fairy. So if I had if this is the, let's see, how would I explain this? If I was to rank the difference, or, rank how I like, oh yeah, I forgot to do that. Rank how I like the floss. I wouldn't put Arrow Floss in with those. Just it's not comparable. So Arrow Floss is definitely by itself. I wouldn't mix it with DMC or Egyptian cotton flosses. So, but of the Egyptian cotton flosses, I would rank them in this way. I actually would rank DMC last. The only downside I see with royal embroidery is that the colors do not match as well. So actually, I probably would put that in 3, because you have to use only royal embroidery. You can't. I mean, I guess you could if you used that one color only. In royal embroidery, yes, definitely you could mix and match, but you couldn't use DMC and royal embroidery in the same color because they don't match, and that's too bad. But I have taken the Painted Fairy and looked at what I have. I have quite a bit of DMC actually. I just don't have enough for full coverage. But I have put them side by side with all of the Painted Fairy colors I have to all of the DMC colors that I have, and they match. There's no discrepancy. So then you look at price point, definitely Painted Fairy over both of them because it is cheaper than both DMC and royal embroidery. And then, let me tuck that piece down there. And then you look at the texture of it. So the new DMC that I have bought in the last couple of years, I've been really disappointed in it. I found that it was thin. There was, it knotted up easily. It just felt like it wasn't very well made, I guess you could say. And so I was a little disappointed because it's really expensive. And so when I got the royal embroidery, I was like, wow, this is nice it was much nicer to stitch with. And then I got the Painted Fairy and I was like, I was in heaven. It is just divine. So nice. So yeah, I will be using Painted Fairy from now on. When I as I said, I still love my Arrow Floss. But I think that I will work on buying Painted Fairy for my projects from now on. It's just, it's a little bit more expensive than Arrow. But it's not that much more expensive. And I'm doing my 𝐏𝐸𝐷𝐻𝐸 in that. And it looks so smooth and nice. I love it. So, and then I have some vintage DMC, and that is just like Painted Fairy. It's that same quality that the new DMC is missing. I think, anyway. That's my opinion on it. I love this color. I just went through the Ada wrong. Let me pull that out. So anyway, I'm blabbering on. So what is everybody working on? And have any of you tried the painted fairy floss? I know Janine has bought it and uses it, and she really likes it. I know that Siska or Ellen, she uses Royal Embroidery. Her master set is Royal Embroidery. So she really likes that. Just meandering around with this color. Oh, so nice to work on 20 count. I love it. Oh, another thing. I was looking at stuff. Laura says I have a painting fairy kit. It feels close to DMC to me. Yep, totally. Just feels, I think, honestly, it feels better than DMC. I love it. And Busy Mom says she uses DMC. But you live in the States. You're lucky because it's really cheap. I was so surprised how expensive it was here in Sweden. At my local store, it is crazy expensive. I don't remember. It's like 22 Swedish crowns. If I buy it from one of the online stores, it's 16 Swedish crowns. And I won't say SEK because Fred will think I'm talking about sex. I'm joking. The symbol for Swedish crowns is svensk and kronor. Krona. It's SEK. So yeah. So it looks. Yeah. So every time I say that, somebody with the dirty mind says something funny about it. But online, it's 16, which is, I think the dollar is, it's about $1 to 10 Swedish crowns. I think it might be a little bit more. It may be more like, I don't know. It's all weird. I'm really surprised it's not lower. It's the Swedish crown is so low compared. It's weird. Anyway, that's world currency is crazy. So it's really expensive. You can't afford it. I can't afford it. I can buy like one at a time. If I need one, I run out of something, I can go and buy one at the local store. And that is the other reason why I want to eventually switch to Painted Fairy, because I can go and just replace one color locally here. If I need, if I run out, I can bike down to the store, within 10 minutes and go and purchase a skein and not worry about ordering from China and waiting for 2 weeks. So, yeah. Oh, that looks so nice. Oh, I love it. Oh, actually, there was another one. Oh, well, it's fine. That color is just super amazing. Okay, so Busy Mom said, yes, and I used to work at Joann's and stock up before they close. Yeah. Um, and Renee says, I have too much stash of DMC, probably 5 to 6 nearly complete sets. Bought most of mine when it was much less expensive. It's still not badly priced here in the US, 76 cents for Hobby Lobby. And Renee says, I worked at Joann's too. I worked at New York Fabrics in California when I still lived in California. I loved that store. My Nana and I used to go there. That was what we always used to do when I'd go, and I used to work for my Nana. I used to do like in-home care, and really what she wanted was somebody to vacuum her floors and take her shopping. And so we would go, that was my job, to take her shopping, and usually she'd buy me stuff instead. But I used to work at New York Fabrics. I don't know if anyone's aware of that. I'm not sure if it's just a California thing or not, but it was huge. And there's no stores like that here. The fabric stores are all super tiny. And they sell stuff for like curtains. There's not really any, like, you're not making anything for fashion wear or anything like that. But yeah. But I do have a local yarn shop here, which is fairly, that's a good thing. Let me double check that. Okay, I did those stitches. Okay, only one color left on this block, and that's 931. Oh, let's check, because I think I put that on my, let's see if I can find it. My needle board looks like a porcupine. And, oh, good, there's a nice long one there, too. Okay, I don't need to... I know I used that yesterday, so... on the Everheart Mosaic. No, this is Everheart Mosaic. Wait. I worked in the notions department. I love notions. Anything to... like gadgets and all that stuff just makes me crazy. I love them. It is definitely a sickness for me. I buy, especially knitting and sewing things. I have so many little gadgets that I, probably don't even need. But I can't help it. It's just part of me. So yeah, we were discussing the other day about classic paintings and the different chartings of them. And I was talking about, and I remembered what it's called now, pre-Raphaelite artists like John Williams Waterhouse. And we were talking about the differences between how it looks from, I think we were talking about, Golden Kite and Heaven and Earth. Well, I decided to look at Scarlet Quince. Has anybody stitched Scarlet Quince? I know that it's sort of the similar way to Golden Kite, where you lots of blends. It's still full coverage. I had looked at some patterns by Alphonse Moucha, which is, he did Art Nouveau, which I love Art Nouveau also. And I was looking at some of those patterns and I fell in love with a bunch of them, of course. But I decided to check and see if Scarlet Quince had some Waterhouse paintings or any of the pre-Raphaelites, and they did. And the Miranda is stunning. I'm like, oh man, it's like an epic piece. But then also the Musha, I'm not sure I'm saying that right. Hopefully no one from Hungary is insulted by my pronunciation. I I have the pattern for Primrose and Feather. They are Art Nouveau pieces by Moshe. And I was going to start them for my 60th birthday. That's this year. Unfortunately, I will be 60. Oh, you know what? I think I just stitched. Wait. Oh, yeah, I did. I think I did an extra stitch. Oh, forget. Let me see where is that? I wasn't paying attention. I just started stitching it all in. It's just this row. Anyway, I was going to start that this year. And I bought them from Tilton Crafts. And I still love them, but they're a little bland. Well, you know, it is what it is, sort of thing. But then I saw the ones from Scarlet Quince, and I hate myself that I've paid for 2 patterns that I probably won't do. Oh, okay. So then, and I'll read this a little bit more. Renee, do you miss it? Yes, I had fun working there, even during COVID. I sure miss shopping there for my fabrics. No one else has much for selection. Renee says, I really miss old fabric stores like Hancock's. Yes. House of Fabrics. Oh yeah. I worked at House of Fabrics too. I just remembered that name. It was, you know, 90s, 80s, 90s. Busy Mom says, Renee, I agree. Having a hard time finding fabric at times. Not that I need it. LOL. Yeah. Hancock Fabrics was the best. When I used to sew all my clothes for work, I bought my fabrics there. So much variety. Yeah, Hancock Fabric. That was another one that was really good. And Michelle says, that's great, Suzanne. You get to be 60. Lots of people to get that far. I love that style of stitching classic works. I understand Scarlet Quince has a proprietary app for digital patterns. Yeah, I actually looked at that, but because I don't have one of their patterns, I didn't test it out. I still would rather use Saga. I don't know how it is, but I know it says that it should work in Pattern Keeper. And so I think what I'll do is I'll purchase one of them and test it out. And if it doesn't work, then, you know, fortunately I lose some money there. But yeah, they were so nice. And there were so many of them. Let me double check. Let's see. So, and I started looking at, you know, that pattern that Nikki is working on that we always joke about, the Contessa and the squid. At first I was like, why would anybody stitch that? Sort of how Yogi thinks. Now it's, you know, become a joke where, you know, we're all saying no squid, you know, no seafood and everything. But the more I look at it, the more I think it's kind of cool. And yeah, I don't know. I started sorry, my lisp is funky today. I sort of started considering it anyway. But then I might just go with an absolute classic instead, you know, a real classic. Renee, check out, check between the Scarlet Quince and the Golden Kite. Also, I I wasn't really like Golden Kite, they were pretty okay, but they're really expensive. And then that really kind of put me off of it. But they do convert really nicely to Saga. So I will say that, and that's not right. Lots of talking, lots of messing up. Yeah, you can still get them from, that's where I found them on Pain Free Crafts. So I don't know. You know, there's a lot of, Pain Free Crafts has a lot of classic artists too. So, you know, it's not like you couldn't find them, but I really, the colors of the Musha paintings were, it was nicer. It was like more vibrant. And I'm intrigued by the blends. So that is my plan. And I think that I will probably do them in 16 count because why not? It feels like the 16 count will be easier. Did I do that? Wait, let me. This cross-country decision making is a bit difficult. Let me. Okay, yeah. I probably should have done those other stitches first. Now I'm going way over here. Oh well. Live a little, all right? Let me mark these off before I forget, because, you know, it's bound to happen. Yeah, so I think that I have that 16 count that I bought for decisions and I'm working on, and I really like it. So I might do a little, there's a lot of that fabric left, so I might do a little sample in one of the corners to see how the painted fairy floss looks on it. And because it's for my birthday year, and this is what I planned on doing for my birthday start. Well, actually, it was going to do a Fancy Lady, but this is my version of Fancy Lady. And let me double check that. I think I will in this one. And it'd probably be cheaper than a Fancy Lady. And honestly, I've heard some pretty nasty things about both Bella Filipina and, you know, the artists behind Bella Filipina and Mirabilia to make me not really want to, you know, do either one. And enough that I'm like, I'm not gonna waste my time on something like that. I'm very much the type of person who will, you know, I'm talking with my pocketbook kind of thing. So that was the last of that square. Wow, that turned out nice. It went pretty fast. Okay, so let me check. Okay. Renee says there is also cross-stitch collectibles. I haven't looked at those, so maybe I'll check those out another time and see. You know, I keep going back to Primrose and Feather. I'm not sure if you are all aware of that. Let me look real quick. Let me see if I can open it up on this. Let's see. Okay, that was weird. Oh, come on. Let's see. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah. Honestly, I love Google being kind of making things easy for everybody. Okay, so this, yeah, okay, so this is, and see, it looks so much nicer. Okay, let's see if I can, wait, open it up. I don't know. This is Primrose. Isn't that beautiful? It just, oh, I love Art Nouveau. So that's Primrose. And then Feather is, oh wait. Shoot. Let me see if I can bring up the other one. Okay, let's see if that works. Yep. Clara says, earlier this year I ordered Zweigart 25 count from Luca S on Amazon. About 3 weeks later, I received my fabric. However, they sent me 20 count. Yeah, that's too bad. Okay, so then here is Feather. Let's see if it opens. I'm using my super old phone and it's very... So, and they look at each other, kind of thing. So my thought is that I would buy the fabric and the floss and everything all at one time so that I have all the floss I need, the fabric, and do them on the same piece of fabric. Yeah, and also the thing with those is that any of the white is white. I mean, you don't have to stitch it. And the Tilton Crafts one, I can show you the Tilton Crafts one, compare it. Because unfortunately, I bought those patterns. I bought them, but it's been almost 2 years since I bought those. So, yeah. I do that with, what do you call it? Knitting patterns all the time. I buy knitting patterns and then don't knit them. It's like, like, okay, whatever. Let's see. I haven't opened it. I guess that this folder is by when they've been opened last. Okay. What are they? But honestly, I buy a lot of stuff that I don't end up using, which is kind of stupid. But it is what it is. Okay, so here's Feather. So this, okay, this is the Tilton Crafts one. Do you see how much more drab it is? It's the same image, but it's super drab. And all the borders are stitched. And then here's Primrose. And this one's not it's pretty close. But where all these brown parts are, in the Scarlet Quince one, it's white. It's fabric color. So anyway, this is way off. I still love them. I just saw them on the screen and I'm like, oh man, I just love them. Even the Tilton Crafts version, I still love it. So okay, so Clara says, so I did a return because I wanted 25 count. Luca S told me to keep the 3 bags of 20 count, large pieces, and they sent me 25 count. I paid $9 shipping. Oh, wow. Clara, I love when they do that. And Laura says it does look very beige compared to the colors of the other one. And I thought it was very nice of Luca S to do, very happy with their customer care. And it was probably Amazon's fault, honestly, because usually it's it's Amazon, you know. I forgot about my coffee. I keep doing that. I'm talking a lot. But I guess that's, you know, part of the whole thing, why we are here. Okay, so I did the third block done. Let me double check. So I kind of like this, the typewriter method, because now I'm on this block and that block's almost done. It's pretty nice. So, I think I will stick with min to max. I think it, except I have to move my cart back and forth, but okay, it's fine. I may have to get up and shut the shades in a little bit. We'll see how warm it gets in here. So the first color is 369, and it's not on my board, and it's on the other side of the cart. How did you find the Luca S fabric? I bought some 16 count on Amazon, Luca S, and I liked it but didn't. The beige that I bought for my neighbor Totoro is 16 count, and that one's fine. I don't really have any issues with that fabric. It felt thin, but you know, it's stitched up okay. It's very starched. But then I bought some black, and I felt like the black was it was harder to stitch. Like I had a really hard time getting the needle through it. So that was the first minus on it. And it was really stiff. So I didn't really enjoy it as much as I would have liked. So this one, there's min to max works pretty well for typewriter method. You're still, you know, because typewriter method, it's picking the symbols for you. But because I would rather have the, you know, when you have a lot of stitches left, it's nice to be able to cover it up that way. So I prefer the min to max because then you can, you know, you're covering up all the cross country. But then I like it by the number because then I don't have to move my card around so much. So there's that. So, and I got my new fabric for Red Rock Mystic. And so I'm going to start that again. I looked at the pattern, how much I had done. Yeah, I had done 9% of it before I decided to UFO it. Feels a little bad, but I wasn't happy with it. Every time I looked at it, I was like, eh. I was doing it on 22 count, which I love 22 count. That's not the problem, but I did it in 10 stitch. And now that I see how neat and tidy 1/1 looks, like I can't go back. So also my wheel resets now because I am doing the last one on my wheel. This is the last one. So I'm having some ideas. So I think that I am going to put my Studio Ghibli patterns on my full coverage wheel because they are technically full coverage, even though they're on 14 to 16 count. So I'm still trying to decide if that's what I want to do or if I leave them on the non-full coverage and do, you know, like every day spin the wheel and do 100 stitches on those on the non-full coverage pieces. Because 500 is, like on those ones, 500 is a lot. I don't really want to do 500 on some of those. But also 100 seems like not enough. So I may change my mind. Rotations are, I don't mind. I think it's kind of fun. It takes the decision making out of having to decide what you want to do. You know what? I think I'm going to park this. I'm going to park it over here. Yeah, maybe. Nah. Okay, I'll take that out then instead. It's in the way. That's why I was thinking I'd park. There's only a couple of stitches. I think I'll... Let me double check and make sure I mark those off. There's only a little bit of floss left, so I'll do what I can with it. So I don't really like the stitch what you feel, because that is a great way to get, I feel like that would be a great way to get burnt out. There's no markings on these. So I don't mind the rotation. I think sometimes I will get a piece and think, I don't want to work on that. That, you know, but then I'll start working on it and think, oh, it's not that bad. I still think that works pretty well. So I may continue with the wheel. I may do the wheel for both of them. I started doing Milestone Manor, but I don't have the spoons for it. All of the stuff on Milestone Manor, I just like, don't really. I wasn't going to go down that far on the chart, but it's okay. Okay, let's see what everyone's saying. What does Red Rock Mystic? Okay, let me go back up a little bit. So Renee says the piece I'm stitching now is a classic artwork by George Edgar Hicks. It's not everyone's cup of tea, though. Lots of browns and rusts and yellows and depressing subject, LOL. Is that the one, the girl holding the bird, right? Yeah, it does sound really depressing, but also I love classic artwork, so it doesn't bother me. You know, it is what it is. And then Clara says, I enjoy the typewriter method. Most of the time I go all the way to the end corner. And Laura wants to know what Red Rock Mystic looks like. And it was, let's see, let me find it. It's probably at the top because I saved the pattern before I emptied the pattern, but now I can't find it. It's probably, there's Valentine the 10th. Oh, there it is. That folder is out of order, so it's not in those ones. Okay, that was the saga file folder. It's because I started Red Rock Mystic in Pattern Keeper. So, there's Pattern Keeper save files. So all of those things are still in, you know, like all the starting stuff is all in Pattern Keeper. Okay, so let's see. No, okay, that's not. These are save files. Okay. Okay, there it is. It's a Lori Prendle. Let's see. It's a mini. Let's see. Can you see that? And I was a horsey girl when I was little, and I just absolutely love this. I usually wouldn't go with a Southwest theme, but something it calls to me. It reminds me of, I used to live in Nevada, so it reminds me of the desert, and um, it reminds me of all of that growing up, um, living in the desert, and my nana would we went to Arizona to one of the reservations, and it all reminds me of my childhood kind of thing. And I saw it and I was like, oh my God, I love this and I have to do it. So it's mostly sky stitching until you get to the horse's mane. And then it's like confetti from heck. It was so much confetti. And tent stitch is okay for confetti as long as you do row by row. So when I got to the confetti, I had been doing min to max, and I was like, oh man, that was just so crazy. I struggled really badly with it. And it showed in those places because it showed that it wasn't so neat. And I didn't like that. So yeah, a lot of people say, a lot of people have I'm a native stories in their families. And but I actually do have native in my family. It's just it's so diluted by the time it got to me. But my brothers are, one of my brothers is very dark. I am very light. I am pale as pale, blonde hair. But my brother is really dark. My dad was really dark. And, my dad's side of the family are they look native, So, um, I grew up with understanding that there was some native, I did have some native in my family. I didn't grow up as a native, but I heard enough stories, and my nana was still, kind of she wasn't like she didn't live native life, but like I said, we visited a reservation where she had friends and stuff like that. It was kind of interesting. So I remember all that and all the yeah. Um, and I don't know. I just thought that I just saw it and as a horsey girl, and growing up like I did with my nana, enjoying, we we weren't native, but we visited the reservation. We, did things occasionally. Um, I don't know. I would never say that I'm native because, I didn't grow up native, but I appreciate that there is probably some in my family. Anyway, so let's see. Would you do maybe tent stitch for the background and full cross for the horse? I don't think so. I think I would just go with it. It was really pretty. The sky blended so nicely. I just didn't like how the I didn't like how the tent stitch was turning out. And it was the first real project I started, I think. Well, not first, maybe second. But I was pretty far into it quickly. And I was getting lines because Hardanger is a bit soft. It was an older piece of Hardanger that I got from one of the ladies at the 𝐿𝐵𝐶𝐸. And so I was getting lines because I was doing rows and I wasn't feathering, and so I switched so that I wasn't getting rows or lines anymore, but I could still see the lines that were already there, and it was just a bunch of stuff. But, you know, there's enough fabric to do another project, so it's not like it's a big deal. And so I bought new fabric, and I'm excited to start it again, actually. I was thinking about doing today, but this one I really needed to finish the rotation on this one. I'm going to sew this thread back in to Park. Ugh. The one problem with wearing these glasses is that I can't see to thread the needle, so I have to look over my glasses to see the needles. Okay, so let me read. Let's see. Renee says, gotta go. My daughter is on the phone, lives in Oklahoma, and had tornado activity last night. She's safe though. See you later. Okay. I'm glad that you came by, and hopefully she's good in Oklahoma and everything is okay. Tornadoes, they scare me. You know, earthquakes are much better to live with. Okay. Okay, so next color. I'm going to check something really quick because it looks like that. No, it's just really low. I was like, because I'm, you know, here by myself and talking to myself, and I can hear the outside noise. I couldn't hear the music. Maybe. I think it just turned off. I think it turned it off instead of turned it up. Oh, maybe I muted it. Oh, I went to turn up the volume and I muted it instead. Lovely. Oh, it sounds like they are out there leaf blowing or mowing the lawn already. Oh, I hate lawn mowing. My allergies hate it. Okay, so now 3022. And that one is a one on my board that is not got a hole in it. I've never had that color then. Well, never had it for any of the full coverage that I've been working on. 3022. Oh, wait. What's up with that? It must be, is that a replaced number? 3022. Huh. Let me double check that because, oh, I see it. Okay, so yeah, I said I had never done it. I don't even have any floss on it. Oh yeah, let me fix that. I'm like, wait a minute, I don't remember that being a replaced number. I might skip that then, because I don't think I can. My floss is in the filing cabinet next to me, and then I put a table in front of it, so I can't actually open the filing cabinet, that's just silly. But yeah. So I may just skip that color and fix that later. I really need to floss up, but I was spending time putting together my new office chair and didn't get around to moving things around so I could get in there. So I'll skip that number and go back to that one. It's fine. There's one ecru. Oy. It smells like dirt. Lovely spring. Needs to rain, calm down some of the dust. I don't think it's rained for a couple weeks. Hopefully it doesn't get too dry. Okay, so there is one ecru stitch. I need it. I've been lazy and not clipping off the ends. So I think what I'm gonna do is I think that I will plan on trying to stick to a, you know, stop around 6, kind of try to schedule myself a little bit better. But, you know, like, yeah. Me schedule myself well? Yeah. I'm a time optimist. It does not compute. Anyway, but I'm thinking, well, you know, we'll see how we're doing. You know, if we're all good to keep stitching. We have Siska is doing her live stream tonight instead of Yogi. So we have that to look forward to. I wonder what she's going to work on today. She has so many nice projects. It's exciting. Hopefully I'm more awake than I was last night. I swear, I was like sitting there watching Yogi and just falling asleep. But I did finally like perk up a little bit. But when she starts so late, it's like 9:45 for me, and that's almost a little too late for me. You know, I think I'm gonna end this one. There's more, but they're down pretty far, and I'm trying not to go too far with my threads. Just, you know, I'm trying to keep it concise a little bit in the area I'm working in. And before I would be like, oh, I don't want to start and stop, but now that I'm doing this start and stop that I like, I don't mind. And then I have my needleboard. It's all good. But yeah, I will skip tomorrow since Yogi's doing 2 streams. And I will try and film my floss tube video. We'll see how that goes. I have a hard time scheduling things. I'm a pretty orderly person, but you know, just I often mess up time-wise and don't make it. So we'll see what happens. But I think that definitely we'll skip tomorrow because I need to, it's a lot with 2 streams for Yogi, and then I also do want to do, I want to try to do my floss tube. I do not like some of the symbols that, what's this chart? Oh, Stitch is So Beautiful uses. I'm so used to the Haid symbols. They're so much more pleasing, and Stitch is So Beautiful uses like wingdings, and they just look odd, and it's hard to sometimes see them. I try to change them, but then yeah, I don't know. So 778. There are a lot of colors. Oh, wait, that's up here. 778. Oh, there's one there, I think. No. No, that's one that doesn't have a hole, so I've not used that one. Let's see if there's... Wait, hold on a second. Okay, now there's no hole in that one. That's another thing that, like, Stitches So Beautiful uses. They use a lot of different colors that Heaven and Earth doesn't use. So it's kind of interesting anyway. I think she started, I think last week she started at 8:30 Central European time, I think. So it's like an hour before when Yogi usually starts. Oh, that was really long. Oh, well, that's okay. If I remember right, it was about 8:30, if I remember right. Okay, so Yogi starts at 8:30 London time. So Universal time is Old Greenwich Mean. So yeah, it's like an hour before. So Yogi usually starts at 8:30 her time, which is 9:30 our time. I'm in the same time zone as Siske. So it's it'll be a little earlier, which is I like. It works for me because, you know, I don't feel like I'm still up so late, but I'm a little more alert at that time compared to maybe an hour and a half later. I often fall asleep. It's either at like 7, I'll start dozing off, and then I perk up, or 9 o'clock while I'm waiting for Yogi to start, I will start dozing off. It's so bad. And then, of course, after we start gabbing and stitching, then I'm wide awake. That one looks a bit funky. It's fine. And there's just 2 stitches of, these colors are just really spectacular. I'm really happy with this piece. And I think that it will, even though it's a small, I think that the clarity of it isn't going to matter so much because it's not really meant to be super clear, maybe. Okay, so 2 stitches there. There were none close. It keeps going. It keeps going back to 3022 because that's, you know. Okay, so 932. And there's none in there. Yeah, see, Mindimax, I've been moving my cart back and forth. It's okay. I'm okay with it. Let's see. So, this is the one I need. Oh, and you know, I was doing some calculations for fabric for Primrose and Feather, and I believe that the Scarlet Quince pieces are smaller, because I know I was looking at for the Tilton Crafts ones, and they were, you know, it was going to take like a meter of fabric for both of them. And it looks like the place that I can order from it's Zweigart, so it's a good brand. And they sell it by the decimeter. So I can, and for both pieces, putting them side by side, that just pulled up the thread. Oh, wait, hold on. Let me poke that through. Oh, it always sounds so violent. It's fine. So I did a calculation and figured that I can buy 7 decimeters, which is 70 centimeters, and it's it's 110 wide. The fabric is 110 wide, so I can get both of them on that piece of fabric, and that's pretty good. And it wasn't that expensive either. So I'm like, because I know another place that I bought my other fabric from, because that shop wasn't working for some reason when I tried to buy it on Sunday. I think their shop was just down for the weekend. Her fabric is very nice. I just split the Ada. She has good quality fabric. She's got Perman and DMC, but her fabric is more expensive. I guess the Zweigart is cheaper than DMC and Perman. So, there's that. There we go. And was missing the hole. Let me undo that. Yeah, so kind of excited, but then I just bought fabric, so I need to wait. My birthday is not until September, so it gives me time to work through it. And so the next one is way over here, and I don't want to hop over all that, so I'm gonna leave that for now, but I will fill these in. These are things I usually gab at Christina about. she's so used to my musings of what I'm gonna do and what I. Wait, that's not right. I'm missing a stitch. Okay, wait. Let me double check this. What that is? Okay. Let me mark these real quick so I don't mess up. Okay, well, that's right. Okay, well, I'll just leave it because I can fill it in later. I've marked a stitch there. It's not there. Like, what the heck? This is like a pearl gray, like a blue gray. It's just, oh, lovely. This is a very 80s, 90s color that would have come up on all the geese with ribbons patterns. Lively LE. I don't know what you're saying. I'm sorry, but can you maybe write that again? Yeah. Sorry, I'm not quite sure I understand what you mean. If anybody else understands that, let me know. I'm not sure. Might be a spammer, maybe. I honestly am really surprised Yogi doesn't get more spammers. She's super lucky. Okay, let me mark some stitches here. This seems to be going really smoothly. Yeah, definitely. It's really surprising that I remember when I first started going to her live streams, I was like, you don't have any moderators? I mean, not that I wanted to be a moderator, because I do that kind of stuff on online games, and I was thinking, she's asking for trouble. Nothing. I think she's had maybe one or something. It's really, really amazing. Um, Almost dropped the needle. Okay. And yeah, I'm gonna end this. Yeah, I've only seen one since she started too. I'm super amazed. It's just crazy that she's not had more. Okay, let me. Oh, you know what? Let's go back. I need to put this back. There's a little bit left. So, 932. But because I do know that stuff happens, I probably will try to get if I'm going to stream a lot, I'm definitely going to have one or two of y'all help me out. Let's see. I have a stitch that's missing. And so I need to, oh, how did I miss that? That's weird. But I missed a stitch here, but there's some down here, so it doesn't matter. Just do it when it comes up. So that's good. You know, I play on an online game called Aardwolf, and that's where I know Fred from. And it is a cesspool sometimes. I'm pointing at you, Fred. No, I'm not kidding. Fred is great. But you know, like you get people who will just come and spam stuff it can happen daily. I haven't been playing so much since I had my accident. I haven't been I can't sit at the computer because it hurts my leg. I just got a new chair. So I'm hoping that I'll be able to sit at the computer. But I don't know. We'll see what happens, hopefully. And then I broke my glasses, so I couldn't even see the computer. So yeah. But I'm an immortal there, if you can call that. And that's where, you know, Ansa, you know, the other guy that comes on and chats with us, he's also from there. And Growl, or I'm not sure I think she has her name as Growl Tiger. She's also from there. She's my online spouse, actually, on the game. And we've all played there for so many years, and we've known each other. We've been playing, you know, daily with each other for years, and you know, they're really good friends. I love them. But we all know how that is. It's you get some pretty wild stuff going on those games. But it's a little different because it's a game and it's going to attract a different type of person that might, that hopefully cross stitching doesn't attract. Yeah, nope, can't. it really sucks because I was trying to do that. So like Yogi can do that because she uses OBS, which is she steers her camera through her computer. But my computer plus my internet are too laggy to do all of that. I was trying, and I've been trying to play around with a bunch of different settings and things that could possibly work, and it just doesn't do it. That's why I went back to going straight live from YouTube, because it doesn't have the lag. The sound is good, but I can't seem to adjust my phone ahead of time, unfortunately. And that's irritating, honestly, because I tried to do that. I set my camera up beforehand, make sure it's in the right spot and all that. But since I zoom in, when you go live, it zooms out first. So then I have to zoom it back in and make sure everything's, where it's supposed to be. And it's kind of annoying. Okay, that's done. So, I'm going to keep messing with it. There's some settings in OBS that I might try, but like when I tried the Prism app, that was when I was able to have Saga on the screen. Christina said that it was really choppy, and I think that that's because I am going between my computer, not my computer, my phone and my tablet on just a really not a very fast internet, because I got scammed into taking an internet that wasn't so good. And I was like, oh, whatever. And that was the wrong spot. So yeah, I am testing things out. So we'll see what happens. Where did I put that? Oh, okay, it's way over there. So yeah, I wish that I could. The other, I had thought about the first time I went live with YouTube. I tried doing you can turn the screen off, but then I can't see what I need to do to zoom in. So it sort of doesn't work. But I'm going to play around with it a little more and see what I can do. There is software and all of that and apps. Like I was pretty happy with Prism, but it's what I have to work with that isn't so good. And I'm surprised Yogi must have a better computer than I do, even though she says it's super old. This one's not that old, and it's not handling it. So I don't know, but I'm trying. We'll see what happens. Let's see. I went all over the place, and I think yeah, I'm gonna end this one. I'm gonna take this one and end it here, because there's more, but there's a lot of stitches down here, and I might as well just do them after, because I'm trying not to travel too far. I think that going too far, you kind of have that chance of making a mistake. And I'm pretty new to cross country, so I'm trying to keep it mini. long enough to keep. So I hope, I'm still like, I'm going to check a little bit more and see if I can figure it out better. So hopefully that answers that, because it's like, yeah. Wait. Because I really wanted the saga view to show up, and I just can't seem to get it there without a lot of work. And that's unfortunate because it's really nice to have that. So, and this one, okay. So let me take a sip of coffee. Huh. That was weird. I'm looking at that message and I'm thinking, what was that? It was just really odd. And the other thing is YouTube, I swear, sometimes it's a little bit, so like yesterday when I was trying to go live, I usually keep my phone on, I have auto rotate off because I cannot stand my phone rotating every time I move my, I just dislike it. A lot of people like it, and I just always have it. So it's, if I want it to be horizontal, I'll switch it. But most of the time I use it vertical because most of the, most apps are all horizontal anyway. And but YouTube, when you go live, if you don't have auto rotate on vertical. So because I forgot to turn it off yesterday, it was like it did it vertical. Yeah. And the other thing with that other app, the Prism app, and then I was also trying to make it work with OBS yesterday. That was another reason why I was a little bit stressed out trying to get it to work. But I couldn't get it to work. And then, like if you're setting up the descriptions and all that stuff, you have to do that every time. And so a lot of times, so what I was trying to do was when I was using Prism, I tried doing it on my tablet so it was easier to type, and it would not find that scheduled live through Prism app. So you have to do the schedule through Prism app. And I mean, there was a lot of stuff that I never thought I'd have to, consider. But as I said, I like the challenge. I find it fun to learn all these new things. But it is a little bit limited with having a computer that's not super up to date. And so what I'm thinking is maybe Tuesday when my son is here, but he's at school, I might play around with his laptop because he has a brand new laptop. And what he won't know won't hurt him. Yeah, if it's not, well, it is complicated, but it's not. So like if I stream directly from YouTube, it's not complicated whatsoever. It goes really well. This is not a mistake, but I want to I want to end my thread here. And I know that if I try going back down in that hole that I came up, it would probably not work. So I find it's just easier to take that last leg off and then put it because I know if I went back down in that same hole, it would have been like, nope, you can't do that. And then there's a bit of fuzz. There's like some pink fuzz underneath. I'll hold on. So doing it through OBS is super complicated. I spent days messing around with settings and camera and all the stuff. It's really complicated, but it's really cool. But as I said, you have to use the Wi-Fi. You have to use Wi-Fi so that everything works together, because you can't, like, the computer, if I plug it in the network, I still have to have Wi-Fi on, because the phone and the tablet, they all have to link up. So, because I tried that too. I thought, well, maybe if I plug in the network cable, like Yogi said the other day, maybe it would help. No. And I was like, wait, that's not going to work. So, yeah, it didn't work. It's just, it's complicated, but it's also like really cool. Figuring out all the little idiosyncrasies, and it's all technical, and I like technical. I don't have a problem with messing around with tech. Why is that like that? There's oh, that's weird. Oh, I know why. There's an extra. It's like, wait a minute. Why is that like that? Oh, that's why. There, I have like a bunch of different sizes of this floss. Some of the skeins I tested out different lengths so that I knew that I didn't want them to be that long, because I want to try to stitch things out, but it was still too long, and then it was too short to cut. Yeah, it's just yeah, live and learn. And as I said, I like tinkering with things. I've always been sort of that person. I'm not afraid of tech. Which is weird, because my mom forced me to take computers in high school. The first time they offered computer classes in the 80s, I took the class, and my mom forced me to do it. She's like, you got to go and do this class. I'm like, why do I need this class? I hate that. I didn't want to do it. I wasn't interested. I wanted to be a musician and a librarian. I didn't want. I'm not. Math is not my strong point at all. And I was like, well, why do I want to do that? It's not going to be any fun. I'm not going to be good at it. So yeah, I took the computer class and I hated it. And the teacher was really hard to understand. He was the Spanish teacher, which was weird. But then the next year, the math teacher, a woman, started teaching the class, and she was so interesting. And so then I still wasn't really interested in computers. I was like, I didn't see the point of it. But my mom forced me to do it. She was like, you got to do this class. It's good for you. Which is weird. I never thought my mom would be like that. And then when online stuff started happening, my mom was like, oh, you got to try online. It's so cool. Michelle says, time to run errands. Have a great evening. Thank you. Thanks for all your help, Suzanne. No problem. And have a good day. And hopefully I will see you tonight at Ciske's live stream. I almost said Yogi, but Ciske's. So have a nice afternoon, evening. But, you know, I didn't go online until much later than most people did. My mom, it was my mom that was like, you got to go online. It's so cool. So I think it is 6 now. I'm going to check and see how many stitches. Oh, that looks wrong. Oh, no, it's not. It's right. So wait a minute, that looks wrong. It's 6 now, so I'm going to look and see how much stitches I've done. I probably will continue this tonight during Siska's stream. And that way I can go and make some dinner. I've had leftovers for the last couple of nights, which is kind of silly. Probably should eat some real food today. Well, it was real food, just leftovers. So I should have ended that. Yeah, the next one's way over there. So I'm just going to pin this. I didn't think ahead of time on that last stitch. So 27. And I need to get floss out of my box so that I can do this stitch. It's silly. So I've done 185 stitches, and that's only 2 hours and 9 minutes. I've only been streaming for 2 hours and 9 minutes. Oh, that's not too bad. Thai. Is that what you said? Thai? Thai food? I wish. I want Thai food. There's no good takeaway. But yeah, it's only been 2 hours and 9 minutes. Wow, I've done 185 stitches and talked a lot. That's not too bad. So how are you all doing with your stitching so far? I'm trying to also come up with something to make the hoop shake less, but it's, you know, the way my stand is, you know, it's not as it's not as stable as the table stand, and I can't sit at a table like that because of my back. Laura says, I want peanut sauce, but my daughter doesn't like Thai. I really prefer Chinese food over Thai. But there's better Thai food here in Sweden than there is Chinese food. And so I just don't do it. I did find, this sounds really bad, but I did find a kind of like a frozen dinner that's pretty decent. But I decided not to, with my grocery order, I decided not to buy it this time, unfortunately. So, but I have some chicken schnitzel that I do in the air fryer. Oh, that one's really long. And then I make like a chicken burger. My kid doesn't like chicken, so I buy them for myself, and I keep hamburger buns in the freezer for me because he's gluten intolerant, so there's no, he doesn't eat gluten or any of that stuff. So he can't eat those either. The schnitzels, even if he did like chicken, he couldn't eat this. He wouldn't eat them. I bought him some. I found some chicken nuggets that looked really good, gluten free. Nope. So I ended up eating them. They weren't. I mean, they were okay, but they were really expensive and they weren't as nice. But he won't eat chicken. He just not. He never has wanted to eat chicken. I've tried all sorts. I mean, if I hide it in something, he'll eat it. The one thing I don't like about doing cross country or typewriter or any of those, cross country types is like filling in these holes, which it feels a bit, I'm going over a bunch of other stitch things and it feels a bit scary. I'm going to check this real quick. Yeah, so there's a bunch of really light colors. So, and the next one's down here. I'll just do it anyway. So, yeah. I really do miss food sometimes. Living near San Francisco, there's just so much opportunity for different foods that definitely are not available here. But I've also grown to enjoy Swedish, like household foods, like what they would, they call it husmanskost. It just means like house food, like old, like common foods that people would eat here in Sweden. Like meatballs and let's see. Laura says, I'm packing to visit my parents like I do every weekend. Have to decide what cross stitch to bring. Oh, yeah. Clara says, you can add chicken to that Mexican rice you make and call it arroz con pollo. Yeah, he still won't eat it. I might. I might try doing ground chicken instead of, I usually use a blend of beef and pork ground, and maybe I'll try ground chicken instead. He might like that. It's hard to accommodate kids' taste and allergies. I don't get what I want a lot. Yep, exactly. Food is really hard when sometimes you just don't feel like cooking two different meals. I just sometimes think, oh, and then I end up neglecting myself because I'd rather just not bother. My needleboard is looking like a hairy beast. There is method to the madness, I guess. But, like, I wasn't letting him eat a lot of different things. Like rice made him sound, I read what you wrote while yeah. Rice made him crazy before. Any of those white, sugary, carbs that, turn to sugar made him crazy. And so it was really hard to find things that didn't. Like honey works, sugar didn't. Maple syrup didn't. Dates, it was hit or miss. Sometimes they worked, sometimes they didn't. But then if you tried something out and you got a crazy kid for a couple days, it was you kind of thought, maybe I won't try something now. Wow, I've almost used the whole 100 needles. I have another bag of 100 though. So you get a little, like, I don't want to try something because what if it makes him crazy for a week? Like even the doctor recommended that we didn't even do gluten testing because he would have to eat gluten for 6 weeks. And if he outgrew the gluten intolerance, then it would be fine. But if he hadn't outgrown it, then he'd be miserable. And it's not worth it. So the doctor said, just keep him gluten-free. It's better this way. And, been doing it for the last, I think he went gluten-free when he was about 2.5, I think. And he's 18 now. So it's, 16 years. But, he went from being a pretty sick baby to being healthy. So, it's worth it in the long run. But it took us another year and a half to figure out the other things that were affecting him. Like he couldn't, we figured the dairy first. Dairy was the first one we figured out that didn't work. So we eliminated that one pretty early. But then it was just a matter of testing things out. We found that rice, potatoes, at that point were making him crazy. He just would, he couldn't settle at all. He would just run around like a little maniac. So, we tried this and that and figured out what worked and what didn't. And now that he's older, now he can tell us, if he doesn't feel well, then we can tell, he can say that he doesn't feel well. He couldn't tell us before because he was essentially nonverbal. And he still doesn't really tell us, which, he copies me a lot of times because I have a lot of back pain and stuff. And after my accident, now his newest thing is his leg hurts. The other day, he was like, oh, my leg. And I was like, your leg doesn't hurt. He's so funny. And like, when he's sick, he's got a sore throat, he'll say his neck hurts. Because he doesn't know that it's, his throat. He just thinks it's his neck. It's so funny. He's a cutie. I can't believe he's going to be 18 next Saturday. Oof. Not ready. Not ready. Let's see. Yeah. Looks like I stitched. No, I haven't. Okay, there's. Oh, I have to say I miss Mexican food. Oh, I really miss Mexican food. Yeah, they do. Oh, let's see. You have to get Yogi to sing to Alex next week. Oh, and he's here this weekend, that weekend too. He's here for his birthday. Though he wants us to have a birthday party at his dad's house. So I'm not sure. I haven't really talked to his dad about it. Sometimes his dad is great. He's, well, he can be a bit of a, you know what? We aren't together anymore, obviously. But so sometimes it's like when we first separated and divorced, he wanted nothing to do with me, and it was really rough on Alex. And I was like, you can't do this to Alex. Alex doesn't understand. And he had a new girlfriend, which he's still with her. And he didn't want us to meet, if that makes sense. So finally, so it was a couple years ago, I had to have emergency surgery. I had a hernia and they did emergency surgery. And I was at the hospital clinic that's right next to where they live. It's like right there. And I called him and I'm like, I have to go to the hospital. Can you help me out? My bike is here. They're going to take me to the hospital right now. And I don't have my charger. Can I borrow a charger? Stuff like that. And his girlfriend came over and brought me the stuff, helped me out, and was like, I'd never met her yet. And she was just super nice. And I was like, wow, cool. And she has helped me out so much. It's just great. She's a super sweet person. She's really great with Alex. She's, she puts up with Tobias and, so yeah. But so now it's easier because we are a little bit better, that stuff kind of thing. Let's see. Laura says, I have a hard enough time. I don't know how you got through twins, Dawn. How old are your kids, busy mom? Are they grown-ups now? I know you said you had twins. Are they grown up or, yeah. Let's see. Oh, I'm super enjoying this project. It's just, I love it. 928. Let's see if it's on my board. But I like when I have my little bit of time off from him, but then I kind of miss him. But then when he's home, I'm like, oh, it's like, okay, it's time for you to go back to your dad. It's so bad. I know. But it was really a struggle for a long time because, he was nonverbal. So, he couldn't tell us. He still really can't tell us what he's feeling. He still doesn't, like right now, he's having problems with his new medication. He's never taken any medication since he's 18 months old. No Tylenol, nothing like that. After his reaction, we were super careful about everything. So, he never, I think when he had chicken pox, we gave him they gave us a prescription for something so he wouldn't itch because he didn't understand that he wasn't, he couldn't itch. And the nurse was like, oh, this will make him sleepy and he'll be calm and he won't itch. It was like, no, he was super duper hyper. And so I had this kid with the chicken pox who was running around like a crazy person because this medicine was making him crazy. I'm like, oh my gosh. And it was really funny. I have a friend from Germany who we lived close by to each other. And she's like, I'm bringing my girls over so they can get the chicken pox. Like, okay, sure, let's do it. And so her kids got the chicken pox right after Alex did. But she wanted them to get it because she knew that getting it in the wintertime was better than them getting it later when they were older in the summer. So, yeah. So they got it. And, they were young enough where it wasn't too bad. And Alex's wasn't really bad either. But, after his reaction, we didn't do any medication. So this is the first medication he's had. And he's struggling with it. I guess today he was aggressive to his teacher, and Alex is not aggressive. He's sweet to a fault a lot of times. He's just super lovey. And so, the teacher didn't like that. Busy Mom says, they're 21. My sons live on their own. My daughter lives with me. She can't drive and has learning disabilities, but she can take care of herself. She can't drive because the doctor won't release her. Yeah. Oh, that's too bad. Yeah, see, Alex, he keeps talking about wanting to drive. He does this. He goes, 20-year-old Alex is going to drive Daddy's car. I'm like, no. I don't tell him that. I'm like, really, Alex? That's interesting. Is Daddy going to let you drive his car? Yes, Daddy will let me drive his car. So Busy Mom says, because she is diagnosed with epilepsy but hasn't had a seizure in a couple of years. Yep, exactly. And that's why he's on new medication, because he just started having seizures in December. And I completely understand, because I had epilepsy until I think I had my last seizure when I was 17. And so I didn't get my driver's license until I think I got it on my 18th birthday. Yeah. So I didn't get it when I was 16. I had to wait until I was older. But I was released by then, because I only had one seizure the second time around. Great, I was like, when my seizures came back, I just freaked out. I was so unhappy with that. It is what it is, but I ended up not having any more, so that's good. But yeah, he had one in the middle of actually he had the first time he had one, he had two that first night. Oh, sorry, I just dropped my floss drop. It was in his sleep, and I'd never seen anybody have seizures in their sleep. So, and he'd never had any seizures, and so I was freaking out, because, obviously I didn't want my kid to have seizures. And I had seen enough seizures growing up, between having my own and people around me having seizures. I knew what to do, but it was like, watching him have seizures was, not good. So he had the first seizure. I called the emergency room, or, I called the emergency helpline, and they sent an ambulance, and we went to the emergency room. And he wasn't really affected by it. Like, he was still acting the same as normal. I called his dad. This is a bit funny. His dad got up because he, was going to come and help. And he fainted. He got up. I guess he got up too fast, and he fainted on his way to the bathroom to get ready to come. So I was like, wait, are you okay? Can you drive? Kind of things. So, we got to the hospital, and Alex was like normal. He was talking. He was just his normal self. So they examined him, and they did tests, and the doctor was like, well, looks okay. We can't do an EEG yet because it's too soon. So, we'll send you home. Or first she said, well, you can stay here and we can observe him, or, you can go home. You know what to do. you call us if he has, if you need to, you can call us and we'll be there. And I was really tired because it was the middle of the night. And I thought, and his dad needed to go to work the next day. And I could get a ride with his dad instead of going in the taxi home. And I thought, well, we'll just go home. So went home and Alex was wide awake. It was like 5 a.m. And I'm like, I've got to sleep a little bit. So I went and laid in bed and Alex was playing on his computer. And I hadn't fallen asleep yet. I was just laying in bed. And he came into the bed into his room. We share a room, unfortunately. I don't have the money to have a bigger apartment, and my apartment's really big, but so we share a room, and it's no big deal because whatever. He doesn't really understand that. He doesn't understand. He's a grown kid that shouldn't be sleeping in his mom's room. It's just not an issue. It is what it is, and I don't care. I slept. I slept in the room with my mom, and when I was a grown up too, because she had a small apartment, and it was like whatever, I don't care. But anyway, so he went and laid down and was I'm looking for the color. He was watching his iPad, and so they said, well, maybe not let him be on his tablet. And because he's very, he's developmentally delayed a lot. He doesn't understand. He just doesn't understand. And I was like, okay, well, I'll try. And he laid down and he had just fallen asleep and had another seizure. And I was like, what the? So I called the hospital again. I called and they came with the paramedics came, and the doctor was still at the hospital, the one we had just seen. And she's like, you don't have to come in. We'll, there's nothing we can do about it. So, just, it's better for you to stay home. And, okay. And so I was like, are you sure? Yes, we're fine. It's fine. And I was like, I didn't really want to go in. It's like a half an hour drive, and I don't have a car, and I'd have to, and they were like, because the doctor didn't think it was necessary, I would have to take a taxi and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, nah, okay, we'll stay home. But he was fine. He was a little bit more groggy. Obviously, second seizure in one night is kind of rough. But I was kind of surprised that he was as alert as he was. But the third seizure he was definitely not as alert afterwards. He was still asleep when I couldn't get him to wake up. So he was asleep while he was having the seizure. So, Busy Mom says, my daughter always had hers in her sleep. We're trying to get a new neurologist because her neurologist doctor is a pediatric. She wants to drive, but as a mom, I don't want her to. Yep, 100%. And that's the same thing we're going through now, is that he sees a pediatric neurologist. But, he turns 18 next week. And so then we've got to go all through this again with the adult neurology. It's in the same hospital. We'll have to go through getting a new doctor and going through all that, which I'm not looking forward to. I mean, like when I had my epilepsy, for the most part, I had the same neurologist, because I was still a child. So I had the same neurologist pretty much from when I was 6 years old until I was almost an adult. So, I was kind of lucky in that way. A couple years we didn't live in that area, so I had a different one during that time. But I never really felt off with my doctors. And I just, it was fine. But because it's a different, it's Swedish here, and so I've been letting his dad talk to the doctor just because I already know what, I know what to do and everything. I figured it's better that his dad understands better. And then also they're speaking in Swedish and terminology is all different now for all the epilepsy stuff. And I just feel like, okay, let him do it. But he's only had the 3 seizures since December. But the medication that he took the first time made him aggressive, where he slapped, or no, he punched one of the kids at school, which definitely is not him. So they were like, they sent him home. He goes to special school, so they understand behavioral, but they can't, they have to file a report, and he has to be, there has to be a report filed for it, which is scary, but yeah. So he had to be sent home, and then, so the doctor was like, okay, we'll change the medication, and he's still having problems with aggression. So I don't know. I don't like this. So yeah, and I had never heard of people having seizures in their sleep, you know. So it was really weird. I was like, wait a minute, that's not right. Why is he having one in his sleep? Or why is he having one at all? But then I was like, I know that I thought epilepsy was hereditary, which come to find out it's not. So that was kind of nice to not worry that it's my bad genes, because I had epilepsy. But also I think that my mom took really good records of everything that happened with me between the epilepsy and just everything. And when Alex had his reaction, my mom was still alive then, so I messaged my mom and I was like, this is what happened to Alex. And and I was like, but this seems like this is similar. And my mom was like, yep, right after your vaccinations, you started having seizures. I was like, oh, what the hell? Yeah. So, but he didn't have seizures then. So that it wasn't that, but he obviously was really sick afterwards. I was going to end this. I'm going to try. So yeah, really, it's been rough. I didn't really expect these kind of things to happen. My mom had written in my baby book that it had happened after the vaccines, right before I went to first grade. It was in there. She's like, bad reaction, and seizure started. I'm like, so I wasn't really happy about that, because if I had understood that that was an issue, then I would have been more careful. So yeah. So yeah, I finished that box too. That's great. What is this? Oh, Christina, are you here, Christina? Let me. I'm telling her there's no voice to text. I could have just done it. Anyway, are you here, Christina? Maybe? So what is this? Okay, yeah, this old sprints are showing. Is that right? I'm just double checking here. Oh, it has 2 sprints going. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, well, I'm not sure how that happened, but anyway. Okay. So it says I've done 252 stitches and it's now 6:30. So, so let's say, Busy Mom says, my daughter has a job. She works as a paraprofessional and works with kids with disabilities at the high school where she went to. Oh, that's awesome. How old is she? Is she, oh, didn't you say how old she was? Oh, wait. Oh, okay. Your twins are a boy and a girl. Okay. Never mind. I misread that. Okay, so they're 21. Alex is in he is in his high schools here aren't like college prep. They don't do college prep here. I think they do like, well, I guess you choose to do college prep or you choose like a trade school kind of thing, and he's doing trade school kind of thing. So he's doing welding and blacksmith. I don't think that he will be able to get a job in that field, but he's very good at it. So we'll see what happens, because the problem is he doesn't understand why he has to do things. So right now he's working on things that he wants to work on. So like his teacher sent me a picture of his newest project, which is a guitar stand. So he's doing that in welding. So he took his other guitar stand that is a store-bought one and has made one in welding similar. So that was kind of really cool, actually. Okay, so that block is done. Wow, nice. So I got 2 blocks done and then a little bit of traveled around a little bit. I love the colors of this. It's so pretty. So anyway, I'm gonna go because I'm getting tired. The sun is starting to shine in, so I'm gonna have to go shut the shades or it will blind me soon. So yeah. Oh yeah. And they said that he is doing amazing at what he, the job he's doing at school is high quality, even though he's not, like he doesn't have the mentality of an 18-year-old, but he's capable of doing a lot. And I'm glad that they're letting him explore those things, and it's important. So, but it's not anything I understand. I don't understand welding and all that stuff. But his dad does, and I think his dad was excited about the possibilities. His girlfriend was like, "Oh, maybe that Tobias is gonna go and get a, he's gonna set him up for welding and stuff because he thinks it's really cool." So I think that's it's a possibility of something like that happening, which I think is kind of cool. And he and his dad build guitars. I don't even know how many guitars he has now. He doesn't play, not at all, but he loves building them. So it is what he likes to do. So anyway, I'm gonna go, and I will see you all later at 𝐶𝐶𝐞𝐫𝐡. It's in a little while, not too long. And I hope you all have a nice day until then. And I will see you there, and then tomorrow at Yogi's, and then we'll see about Sunday. Probably good. So, yeah, have a good day. And I will, oh, sorry about knocking the camera around. I will see you all next time. Bye for now.